Hey everybody, welcome back to the Resident Evil 1 Remake Commentary. So I want to begin today with, I sort of misspoke at the end of the last part. Whether or not you save Richard doesn't affect the ending. It does affect an item you can pick up, though, later, which for Chris, you really do want to consider picking up because it is one of the best weapons he can get in this scenario, and that's the assault shotgun.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Because, spoiler warning, we're not actually going to be picking up the regular shotgun in Chris's scenario, which requires actually opening this door with the old key, and there are broken shotgun pieces here. And with this, you can get the shotgun on the right wing of the apartment, yeah, Spencer's apartment complex, and get the shotgun that way. But I'm going to be ignoring it because the assault shotgun is just better, and I really don't have that much inventory space to begin with, so I don't need to be making unnecessary trips.
Well, you know Resident Evil will be running out of ideas when we get to the Spencer apartment complex.
Yeah, then it'll be a Silent Hill game.
The Spencer mansion to the Spencer town home to the Spencer beach home to the Spencer apartment complex.
To the Spencer Hotel across the lake.
Yes. The Spencer Motel 69.
Yeah, he fucking took my thing, damn it.
The Spencer bed and breakfast?
To be honest, I would have still picked up the regular shotgun anyway, because that's 6 shotgun bullets that it comes with, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean,
That's
if you know what you're
6
doing,
zombies you could destroy.
or 6 zombies I could run around.
Oh, but why would you run around them when you can blow their head off?
Why risk that?
The Itchy Tasty file is one of the creepier ones, I will say.
Guys, Tom Cruise has finally come out of the closet.
Trapped in the closet. Chris went into the closet too. And he pulls out his gun.
I think you might have left some ammo in there.
Yeah, handgun ammo. I'm not using it at this because at this point, I'm going to be deliberately leaving handgun ammunition alone and putting ammunition in the box because I'm going to be not as aggressive as I'm going to be later because again, Chris' inventory is so small in this game, and I hate backtracking to item rooms. Now there are a lot of backtracking I cut off anyway because of that shit, but it's just so annoying.
So, when you have your gun, having separate ammo for that gun, like extra clips, takes up its own spot, I'm guessing, right?
Well, you can combine the clips, but yeah, the clip itself does take a spot.
So as long as you have any extra ammo for that gun, it's taking up another spot in your inventory. Okay.
Yeah. The ammo also only stacks up to a certain point. Like I think 30 handgun ammo is the most you can stick in one spot.
No,
No.
99.
Not what?
Yeah, you can see the ammo clips stacked till 99.
That
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
sound
a
right.
long magazine.
It's like one of those gun upgrades in Tomb Raider 2013, where it's like an extended magazine, which is basically just 2 magazines duct taped together for quick loading.
So anyway, the tiger statue has changed a bit in Remake, where instead of requiring a blue and red gem, it requires blue and yellow. And I think the game fucks with you if you attempt to put blue and red inside the tiger head.
Yeah, it drops snakes in the room. I mentioned this in the classic playthrough.
Spencer's a dick.
What does the red... Is the red gem just for screwing with you, then? Is there...
No.
No?
It's a different... It's needed for a plot important item.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's just if you happen to put both in.
It's it's just that if you use the gems in the combination the original game expected you to, you get a nasty surprise.
Yeah, in general, the game likes to fuck with veterans of the original. The tiger head being one example. The emblem pieces, I think, being another example, being used for different purposes. I'm trying to think what else might change between the other games. I'm not sure. I'll have to refresh my memory as we continue this playthrough. But yeah, this is what we're looking for throughout the whole mansion, the death masks.
Also, just
total.
the items being in different locations, because in the original game, this was, I think, the armor key that we would find here.
Yeah.
You know, you could have picked up a third green herb and combined it with the other two.
Shut up, Lewis.
I'm just saying, that's a full heal item right there.
And you're never coming back to that room again.
No.
One of the things that I really like that Remake does with its backtracking elements, though, is there's the Crimson Heads, yeah, so you have to strategize when you're backtracking, but there are also certain hallways where, like, a window will, something will hit the window and crack the window, and it won't come through the window right away. But the second time you go through that hallway, it will. So you're encouraged to find another way to backtrack, unless you just forgot about it.
The dog hallway specifically, in the original game, the dogs will bust out the window no matter what.
Yeah.
But in Remake, they only bust out the window if you go through the reverse side of that door. So if you're going through the normal entryway, the most you'll get is a cracked window. But if you head backwards, they will bust through the window. In a way, it's you know, I'm kind of on and off with that with Remake because you know, it's punishing backtracking.
It's not necessarily punishing backtracking exactly. It's you have to think about how you backtrack and where to do it effectively. And usually when you think about the layout of the mansion, the places that they do that kind of thing aren't even efficient places to backtrack in the first place. So they're kind of hurting you away from the inefficient pathways.
At the very least, there are multiple ways to get to destinations in the mansion. You know, because if say like the hallway in the first floor is infested, you can take the stairs and go above it.
Yeah. The other thing though is that they kind of added some additional backtracking routes to the mansion as well, like that outdoor balcony path that leads straight from the second floor of the main hall to basically the save room is a Remake only area, I think. And that's actually quicker than the normal way. Much quicker, in fact. As soon as you unlock that, you'll never go the normal way again. The mansion in this version of the game is very intelligently designed, actually. It takes the East Wing, West Wing structure of the original mansion and goes to town with it. Yeah,
when you realize how seamless some of the how progression is in the mansion, whether I think it's I can only speak for Chris because again I haven't played with Joe in a while in Remake, but if you know what you're doing with inventory management, going from one place to another just seems to like just transition very well between point A and point B.
They did design it for that, you know, super low time skill challenge.
Oh yeah.
I forgot the guy called Crackhorn. Was he in the original? I think he was in the original.
So does this version of the game also have a lot of spots you'll only be visiting as one character or the other, and not as both?
This was the most unexpected scare in the game, because you don't necessarily expect this out of a game that doesn't have supernatural elements in it.
To answer your question, Ted, off the top of my head, I don't recall.
Okay.
If there is a Chris-only room or a Jill-only room.
Okay.
Press it. Who wouldn't?
So this is actually entirely optional what I'm doing here, but we want to do it because this item will eventually lead us to our sexy beast that we'll get later.
Not the bees.
Well, bee.
Bee. My God.
Were you reading bee movie fan fiction again, John? Is that why
The
you think
bee.
bees are sexy?
The bee is a fully functional enemy. Like,
Yes.
you'd think that when he throws the bee down, he'd step on it and kill it in the cutscene. No, it's an enemy. It will continue to attack you until you shoot it.
How
Or
do
knife
you
it, I
how do you
suppose.
shoot a bee? Hold
You
the
try.
Yeah, you try very hard. Also, the zombie, despite his fat
Well,
wings, has no explanation of doing anything in this room. Yet it does
you know-
anyway.
You know, when you live in the fucking Scott Pilgrim universe and everyone has video game powers, it's very easy to shoot a bee. I'm just saying.
Okay. All right.
Also, yes, I do dub that enemy the zombie.
Yeah.
Zombie.
That's like the only bee pun I can approve of, honestly.
Yeah, so Remake also has the first aid kits, which are, I mean, it's kind of like adding an unnecessary step to getting a healing item.
It was actually a Resident Evil 3 thing, I think.
Was it a Resident Evil 3? Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Now you say that out loud, I do recall them being in Resident
Yeah,
Evil 3.
there were
but
like
yeah.
first aid cases with several first aid sprays in them.
Yeah. But this demonstrates actually another thing here. You don't use defensive items if you're grabbed from behind.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I forgot
You
about
will
that.
get nibbled on the neck if that
Yeah.
happens. But yeah, first aid kits, they can either be a first aid spray or they could be a combination of herbs. But you have to like figure out how to open the box first, which is just like you examine the very top of the case. I was like, can you just give me the mixed herbs?
Oh,
Why
damn.
don't you give me a mixed box?
Well, does it give you more than one item at once?
No, just one.
Okay.
The item is behind steel bars this time. We can't just break the glass like Jill did in the novel. They've improved it.
No. We gotta put grease in our fingers and just yank it out between the bars.
So I have a question. Does this game give you a lower rank if you use the first aid spray, like the original does, or?
I believe it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first aid spray is the only healing item that is under that restriction. By the way, this isn't like Devil May Cry, where just using items at all is a penalty. It's just the first aid sprays, probably because they're the unrealistic gamey item rather than the herb, which is you can make a poultice out of it. And
Now go fight our
sort
horribly
of-
mutated plant.
Yeah. So okay. So are there any other things that you can do that will automatically lower your rank, like using a specific weapon or anything like that, or is it just based off of time and damage? And
It's
accuracy?
time and healing.
Okay.
Time and healing, yeah.
Time and healing. I think number of saves.
I think Resident Evil 2 would take away from your ranking if you use certain special weapons.
Saving doesn't seem that important, though, because if you're doing it fast anyway, you probably don't need the saves.
Yeah, that's another thing. If you know the game, you probably will only save once or twice, or just play through the game without saving. But that's for skill runs. When you're playing the game blind, you actually
Well,
do
if you're playing it
want-
blind, you're not concerned about your ranking to begin with.
Yeah, probably.
And do you unlock stuff for getting specific rankings, like different costumes or whatever?
I think in
Not so
Remake
much,
you do.
not so much rankings, but under specific times. If you beat the game under 3 hours, you get the infinite rocket launcher
Okay.
for repeated playthroughs.
Well, I wanted Samus in a bikini.
Yeah, you get Chris in the bikini, along with the beanie and the sunglasses.
Surprisingly less ridiculous than the outfit he has on right now.
So the thing about this zombie, and actually a couple of zombies in the mansion, that if you decide to get smart and just ignore them to go into the next room, they will bust through the door.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Oh, so the door isn't another pocket dimension where zombies just
No,
ignore
it's
you.
not. All
Wow.
the rooms are interconnected.
Yeah.
This zombie,
Zombie-
for instance, if you head into this
zombies,
room, he will come through the door.
Yeah. Zombies busting through doors in this game was kind of just an excuse for the developers to actually make use of their ability to instantly load rooms, which they put the doors in because focus tests said that people didn't like the game without the loading doors. But there are a few doors where zombies will break through, and you find yourself able to instantly transition between hallways that previously had a loading door between them.
Well, that's also
The-
another way they kind of fuck with old players.
Yeah. The other thing, though, is that the concept of zombies busting through doors is coming back in Remake 2, where they will be able to do that pretty much anywhere there's a door.
Well, I'm imagining that they're just making the entire area one long.
Yeah, one
Continuous.
cohesive. Yeah, it's just even in Resident Evil 7, which was also continuous, the horrible lethal mutant mold monsters would be foiled whenever you shut a door between yourself and them.
Curses, wood again.
Sonic screwdrivers don't do wood. But the thing about Remake 2 is that they're actually using the did you see the door wobbling behind there just before he went through this one?
That
Yeah.
is your warning sign of don't go inside that room too many times.
Yeah. The what was it?
We were
The Resident Evil 2 remake is making more use of environments and doorways and windows that you can board up, and just generally environmental tricks for escaping zombies or for being pursued by them, as the case may be.
one thing I'm really liking about Resident Evil 2 Remake is that they are going to be throwing a ton of zombies at you at certain points.
Actually,
Resident Evil Warriors, anybody?
That's an odd thing. That's an odd thing about the remake, actually, is that the original Resident Evil very, very frequently had rooms full of 5 or 6 zombies. They're more like doing 1 or 2 at you in this one, Presumably because they're much harder to take down when you actually have to aim.
Yeah.
At the
but
same
I mean,
time, the idea of throwing more zombies at you makes sense in Resident Evil 2, given that the infection is in a city.
it's in a city. It's also a matter of, even for quote-unquote survival horror games, 1 or 2 zombies are never a big deal.
Yeah.
Like the
Would
first
be-
time you see one, like you're freaked
Maybe.
out, but
That
like
said-
partway through the movie or game, you should know what you're supposed to do with them.
That
Yeah.
said, the real reason Resident Evil 2 had an enemy number increase,
Is off a little.
the
For a while.
the
But don't get too carried away.
oh, I forgot she screwed up at the music first. This didn't happen in the original. What was I saying? I got
Why
I got
did
thrown
Resident
off.
Evil 2 have more enemies?
The real reason Resident Evil 2 had more zombies was because, Hideki Kamiya was directing and he just wanted to make an action game. So,
Andy and I have been blocked on Twitter.
Before Twitter was even a thing.
Wow.
no, he'd probably freely admit that. I'm pretty sure he has at one point or another.
So getting Rebecca to, you have to let Rebecca practice to get better at the piano, and if you want to just hurry and speed it along, just head to the main hallway and backtrack immediately.
So it's one of those things where it's either time or going a certain distance away makes her...
Going to a certain room.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, go to the main hallway, get back, and she's suddenly much better in a span of a minute.
It's amazing how practicing your scales can just improve your technique,
Practice makes perfect.
Chopsticks and chopsticks and chopsticks and chopsticks.
That is devious because it forces you to go through this hallway again,
Chris,
which shortens the timer on the zombie busting the door down. Okay. Of course, Jill knows how to play a piano and can skip this rigmarole and actually get this puzzle done a whole lot sooner.
I thought you were going to say rigor mortis. I was like, is that a zombie joke?
Rebecca, it's very impressive that you know how to play Wonderwall. Can you play anything else?
I can play Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, god damn it.
Practice makes perfect.
what's this?
Rebecca, what did you do?
Does Rebecca get that other outfit if you choose this one for Chris?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise she's supposed to be in her medical outfit.
I then want Adam West to come in and then play like the 3 notes on the keyboard, and then the back key opens up on the other side of the room. Just slides down the pull.
They kind of missed an opportunity to have Rebecca react to this.
She does, but you got to talk to her.
Oh.
Still, I mean, she doesn't even shout for me as the wall closes.
I bet she
She's
figures
really tired.
I bet she figures she could just play the song again and it opened up.
Oh yeah, they worked in some of the Trevor subplot into this area. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the biggest additions of Remake is the entire inclusion of the Trevor subplot.
We'll be running into
Yeah.
Lisa soon enough.
The George Trevor subplot has been around since the original, like in peripheral stuff and mentioned vaguely in the novel, but someone's calling me.
It's not me this time. Nice.
It's Lisa.
So, George Trevor's the guy who built the mansion, right? With all the dumb puzzles.
He helped build the mansion.
Yeah, and there is actually an interesting but insignificant connection to Resident Evil 7 is that the company George Trevor founded, not George Trevor himself, I'm pretty sure he was dead by that point, but the same company built the Baker estate or at least remodeled parts of it.
What an utterly pointless connection.
Yeah, well, it's there to explain why the Baker house
Is
has
also
weird-ass
stupid.
puzzles. Yeah, apparently after the infection happened, or maybe it was before, they're gun-toting Southerners, so I suppose they take their home security seriously. They had, apparently the subplot is they took a trip to Raccoon City at some point, and were apparently so impressed by something that company did that they had them do work on their own house. So, yeah, it's weird, but it's there.